Hey everyone, Brian from Striggler Photography here. As I promised, I am going to start making some videos. Fun thing, this is actually the third time I've recorded this video. I had some technical difficulties with my internet earlier, so I'm having to go about it a whole different way. But that's the fun thing about learning new things and trying new things. So I will be producing these videos on some kind of regular basis. I don't know what it is. So be on the lookout if you want to learn more about photography, or if you just want to hear me talk about random stuff. Who knows? So anyway, this first little video that I'm talking about actually started from a conversation that I had with someone. And I don't want to give away who the person was, so I'm not going to go into all the details. But basically, I was sitting somewhere while my kids were doing an activity, and I got a phone call from a bride. So I was talking to this bride on the phone, and as soon as I got off the phone, the woman next to me said, "You're a photographer?" And we started having a conversation, and basically it seemed like she was wanting to talk about this session that she had booked with another photographer. And she kept bringing up the point that it was so much money, oh my gosh, it was going to cost her so much money, but this woman was amazing. I don't remember what she said, but she was focusing on the money part. And finally she comes around and says, "It's going to be $200. And I may not have reacted in the best way, but very quickly out of my mouth came, "That's not very much." And the woman seemed to be kind of offended by that and kind of taken back by how I didn't respect that amount of money. And so the conversation didn't go too far after that, but she basically told me that she had paid $50 before for some other session, and that this was a ridiculous amount of money to be paying for it. And it just blows my mind, and I hear this a lot, and I talk to a lot of people, and it seems like everybody's just looking for a deal with photography, or they just think it's not worth it. I actually had a bride contact me today and say, "We really like your stuff, but we got a better deal, so we're going to go with them." And that's the general mindset that I hear a lot, is just people do not value photography as much as I think they should. And so today we're going to talk about how much are your photos worth to you, or what are your photos worth? And I am not trying to judge anyone. You can do what you want with your money, and you can spend it however you want, but I am going to try and explain my reasoning and my mindset when it comes to photography. So anyway, and so here's the first interesting thing. This activity that we were at cost money. Her grandchild was performing an activity. It was a week-long thing, and it had to be at least $150 for this activity. And the thing is, she was willing to pay for that. You didn't hear her complaining about that. And this activity was only a week long. She was learning a skill that's important, but still, that's something we do. We think something's worth it, and then we pay for it. But for some reason, photos don't seem to be worth that. And to me, that makes no sense. Photos are the things that are going to last forever, the things that are our memories, basically, and how we're going to pass that down to other people. Just this last Sunday, we were up in Oklahoma visiting Ashley's grandmother. And her grandmother had photos of Ashley's mom sitting on a shelf. And these were from when she was like a little kid. So if her grandmother hadn't wanted to pay for that, I wouldn't have been able to see those photos, and Ashley wouldn't have been able to see her mother at such a young age. And those photos can still be passed down even further and further. So our kids are going to see it. Our grandchildren possibly will see it. But if she hadn't been willing to pay for it, those would be gone. Those memories, those moments, gone. And that's, to me, that's sad, and it's definitely worth $200 for, like, you think about $200 over like 60 years and influencing, I don't know, maybe 20 people. I think that's worth $200. Maybe it's just me. So here's the other thing that I find interesting, is what people are willing to spend money on. So you think about maybe in a week's time, or maybe a month, how much money you spend on going out to eat. It could be fast food, it could be a nice restaurant, whatever. But the point is, you are spending money on that food. Last weekend we bought pizza, and I know it cost us $40. $40 for pizza to feed our family. I think it lasted 2 meals maybe. So if we did that just once a week for a month, 40 times 4, that's $160 right there. And that is definitely not impacting my life and affecting me for generations and generations. And it's not anywhere near the value that photos are going to be, but we're willing to spend that much money in a month. You think about other things people spend money on. Entertainment. I mean, I don't go to the movies that often, but if I go to the movies, it's going to be at least $30, $40 a pop. And that's if it's just like me and maybe one kid. If I bring all the kids, who knows? How much money do we spend on music, Netflix, any kind of entertainment? I mean, think about your cell phone. That's probably $100, $200 a month right there. So we spend money on things when we think they're important and when we value it and when we want to spend money. So we just need to have, I think, a change of mindset that photos are worth it and we need to be spending money on that. And I guess the other argument that people bring up is, well, I have a cell phone, or my friend has a phone or has a nice camera, so why should I pay them so much money just for something I can do myself? Well, I guess it comes down to what you're wanting as far as the quality. If you are wanting low quality, then yes, please go with your cell phone. If you're okay with blurry photos, dark photos, really bright photos, photos of the back of the head because you don't know how to get your kids' attention or get them to sit still, then yeah, that cell phone's fine. I mean, you have to think about it. There are all different types of brands. So you have like your great value brand, which is really cheap, and it still feeds people, and people are okay with that. Other people will never eat that stuff because it's not good enough for them. So you have to think, what is the quality you're looking for? The same thing goes with your friend with a nice camera. I mean, it's probably a little better than a cell phone, but are they a professional? Do they know how to use the camera? Again, do they know where to put people? Do they know how to deal with lighting situations? Do they know how to edit the photos? It may be good enough for you, it may not. If I'm talking about my memories, then cell phone's not where I want to be, and it's just some random person that has a camera is not where I want to be either. So think about these things. I'm not saying you have to change, but I do want you to at least consider them and think about them. These are your memories. And I'm not saying you have to pay that much money every month for some photographer to take photos of every single event, every time your kid does something. But there needs to be some points throughout the year or big events where you are willing to spend that money when it is something important and you really do want to capture it. Then you need to be willing to, or at least you need to consider why you're making the choice and make that decision knowing that you may not get the quality or you may lose the memories. All right, guys, thank you for listening to me rant. This might have been the best out of 3, I don't know. Hopefully this one works, because I really don't want to have to record this for a 4th time. If you enjoyed this, if you are really angry with the things I say, disagree, feel free to comment. If you like listening to me talk about random photo stuff, feel free to subscribe. I'd love to have some people watching these videos. If you want me to talk about certain things, put that in the comments as well. Thank you guys so much, and have a blessed day.